The sun was already blazing when I pulled into my mother's driveway, the sound of laughter echoing from her backyard. My kids, Liam and Ayla, pressed their faces against the car window, excited for the pool party Grandma had invited us to. For them, visits to my mother's house still felt magical. For me, they felt like walking into a battlefield with no armor. But I had promised myself I would try, for their sake. As soon as I stepped out, I saw my mother, Marion, standing near the pool with her perfectly styled hair and oversized sunglasses, surrounded by her wealthy friends who adored every shallow word she spoke. When she spotted us, her smile tightened, not widened. It was the look she gave when things weren't going according to her curated image. "Ayla," she said, walking toward me with a stiff embrace that felt like a formality. "You made it." Her gaze flicked to the kids. "Oh, and the children too. They're excited." I replied gently. They brought their floaties. Marion's lips thinned, but she didn't respond. I tried to shake it off. Liam and Ayla ran to the pool, their laughter brightening the air, reminding me why I came. But the moment they splashed into the water, Marion froze. I watched her eyes dart nervously toward her guests, women dripping in jewelry, men drinking cocktails, people who looked at life like a photo shoot. "Mom, what's wrong?" I asked. She stepped closer, lowering her voice. "Ayla, I invited adults today. This is not a kid's environment. They're making noise, and some of my guests don't want to get splashed." I blinked. "They're children at a pool, yes, but this is my party," she snapped quietly, "and your kids don't fit the vibe." The words hit me like a slap. "My kids didn't fit the vibe, Mom." I whispered, "You invited us." "Well, I didn't think you'd actually come," she hissed, glancing around again. "Please don't make a scene." A few guests were already staring, whispering. And then, the moment that broke something inside me, Marion clapped her hands loudly and forced a smile. "Everyone, sorry about that splash. Kids will be kids, but Ayla's just leaving with them now." My heart thudded. "Leaving?" I choked. She leaned in, her voice sharp as glass. "Take them and go, please, before you embarrass me further." Liam's chin wobbled. Ayla's eyes filled with tears. I swallowed my pride, my anger, my heartbreak, and gathered their towels. "Come on," I told my children softly. "We're going home." As we walked out, my mother didn't call after us. She didn't apologize. She didn't even look my way, and something deep in my chest quietly cracked open. The drive home from the pool party was painfully quiet. Liam stared out the window, clutching his damp towel. Ayla leaned against her car seat, her cheeks streaked with dried tears. I kept one hand on the wheel, and the other clenched tightly in my lap, trying to steady the storm inside me. My mother's words kept echoing in my head. "Your kids don't fit the vibe," as if they were decorations that didn't match her furniture. But then again, this wasn't new. My mother had always been that way, obsessed with appearances, allergic to anything imperfect, and terrified of being judged. She had rewritten the past so many times in her mind that she probably believed her own stories, but I remembered the truth. I remembered everything. I remembered being 16 and working 2 jobs while she doted on my older sister, Bianca, who could do no wrong. I remembered begging her to come to my school awards ceremony, only to find the seat next to me empty, because she had chosen to attend Bianca's friend's fashion show instead. I remembered the nights I helped myself with dinner, because she was busy hosting parties for people I wasn't allowed to speak to. But the memory that hurt the most happened the year my grandmother died. My grandmother, sweet, soft, spoken Grandma Elise, had been the only person who made me feel seen. She taught me how to braid my hair, how to bake bread, how to stand up straight even when the world tried to shrink me. When she passed, I felt like I had lost my last safe place. A week after the funeral, a lawyer handed me a small, sealed envelope with my name written in her handwriting. My mother scoffed when she saw it. "She probably left you a recipe card," she said. "Mother could be sentimental like that." But it wasn't a recipe card. It was a deed to a small beach, front property she had bought decades earlier, a place she described in her letter as your sanctuary when the world feels heavy. She left it to me and only me. My mother didn't know about it. Bianca didn't know. No one did. The house was old, forgotten, and falling apart, but it was mine. And for the first time in my life, ownership felt like freedom. For years, I quietly renovated it, slowly, room by room, whenever I saved enough money. I painted the walls myself. I restored the wooden deck. I planted flowers my grandmother used to love. My kids helped me pull weeds and chase seagulls. And every time I drove there, I felt the world soften around me. My mother never cared enough to ask where I disappeared to. She never imagined her daughter, the one she pushed aside, the one she judged, the one she humiliated, was building something beautiful, something powerful, something she would one day walk into without knowing it belonged to me. Weeks passed after the pool party incident, but the sting never really faded. My mother didn't call to apologize. She didn't send a message to check on the kids. She didn't even pretend to care. Instead, I heard from distant relatives that she had hosted another gathering a few days later, this time bragging loudly about how peaceful it was without unexpected guests. It didn't hurt anymore. It only confirmed what I had known for years. Still, life moved forward. I focused on my work, my kids, and the quiet joy of the beach house. Every weekend, the kids and I drove there to breathe again. The house had turned into more than a home. It had become a heartbeat for us, a place where love didn't feel conditional. And then, one morning, everything changed with a phone call. It was my aunt, whispering excitedly, "Ayla, have you heard? There's a stunning new beach house on the coast. Everyone's talking about it. Your mother is obsessed with having her next event there." I froze mid-step, nearly dropping my coffee mug, the one on the cliffs. I asked slowly, "Yes, some investor renovated it recently. Marian thinks it will be the perfect spot for her summer soiree. She's already telling people she knows the owner personally." I almost laughed. I really did. For years, my mother barely knew where I lived, let alone what I owned. But I didn't correct my aunt. I just thanked her and hung up. 2 days later, my mother posted on social media, "Big announcement. Exclusive beach gala coming soon. Details to follow." Her comments were filled with praise, people telling her how elegant she was, how they couldn't wait to attend. It didn't take long before she called me, her tone as sugary as the frosting on her fake smiles. "Ayla, darling," she cooed, "I need a small favor." I raised an eyebrow, even though she couldn't see me. "What kind of favor?" "There's this beach house I want to host an event at. It's absolutely breathtaking. Maybe you know something about the owner. Young people, investors, all connected these days." Connected? If only she knew. Why not ask the owner directly? I said mildly. "Well," she hesitated, "I'm planning to, but I heard the owner is very private." I bit my lip to keep from smiling. "Mom, trust me, you'll get your chance." Before she could inquire further, I ended the call gently. Later that evening, Liam tugged at my shirt. "Mama," he whispered, "why don't you tell Grandma the house is yours?" I knelt beside him, brushing his hair. "Because, sweetheart, some truths shine brightest when revealed at the right time." That night, I unlocked the beach house and walked inside, the ocean wind brushing against my skin. This house, my grandmother's final gift, had waited patiently for years. And now, it was finally time for the truth to walk through its doors. The day of my mother's grand beach gala arrived with a sky so clear it almost felt staged. I stood on the balcony of my beach house, watching the catering team set up tables along the deck. White linens danced with the ocean breeze, crystal glasses shimmered under the sun, and floral arrangements filled the air with the scent of lilies. My grandmother's favorite. My phone buzzed nonstop. My mother was blowing it up with messages. "Where are you? Guests are arriving. Don't embarrass me today." I took a deep breath, smoothing the front of my simple dress. Today wasn't about revenge, not really. It was about truth, finally stepping out from the shadow she had forced over me all my life. Guests began pouring in, gasping as they took in the beauty of the place. I heard comments floating through the air. "Whoever owns this place must be incredibly successful." I heard they're young. Maybe a celebrity. My mother walked in moments later, wearing a designer dress and her signature practice smile. She moved around, greeting people like she belonged to this world. And maybe she did, but she didn't belong to mine. She didn't see me yet, not until I stepped out onto the balcony above the crowd. Her eyes snapped up, her smile froze, and then her face drained of color. "Ayla." She whispered, all eyes shifted toward me. I walked down the wooden steps slowly, every footstep steady with years of unspoken pain. My kids ran to me, hugging my legs, a reminder of why I stood strong. My mother hurried over, forcing a laugh. What are you doing here? This is private property. You can't just... I raised an eyebrow. Private property. Yes, the owner is very important. I'm hosting an event for them. A silence spread like a wave. I reached into my bag and pulled out the deed, yellowed, preserved, and signed by my grandmother herself. Mom, I said softly but firmly, this entire beach house belongs to me. Gasps, utter stillness, even the ocean seemed to pause. My mother blinked rapidly. What do you mean? This house, yours, impossible. I met her gaze, no anger, just truth. Grandma left it to me. I rebuilt it. Paid for every nail, every tile, every flower outside. You kicked me and my kids out of a pool you don't even own, but you felt entitled to host a party in a house that does belong to us. Her lips trembled. For the first time, I saw shame crack through her pride. Ayla, please. I didn't realize a no. I said gently, shaking my head. You never realized anything because you never cared to. My children slipped their hands into mine. The guests looked on silently, some with pity, others with admiration. Family isn't defined by blood. I continued. It's defined by love. And you stopped giving us that a long time ago. My mother's mascara ran as she stepped back, small and lost. I turned toward my kids. Come on. I whispered. Let's go to the beach. They ran ahead, laughing again, finally free. And behind me, the echoes of truth settled into the walls of the home that was always meant to be ours.